Hey y'all, Irix Guy here. Now what I want to do within this video is explain the initial setup for the DJI Phantom 2 Vision Plus. Now this is my second DJI Phantom 2 Vision Plus. I've just taken it out of the box. You can check out my unboxing video and see what all's in there. But what I'm going to do within this video is using my experience, and prior to the crash I'd been flying the Phantom 2 Vision Plus for a few months. And previously I had flown the DJI Phantom 1.1.1, which was the original Phantom. And what I want to tell you in this video, and obviously read the owner's manual and be sure you're in a safe location prior to flying your first time. But what I'm going to do is provide you with a list of the steps that I perform as soon as I get my brand new Phantom 2 Vision Plus out of the box. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your battery out. When it comes in, it's going to be in the back of your Phantom like so. Gently push on top and bottom and pull out, and the battery will come out. Depending upon your geographical location, you may have this type of power plug, which is US. That's what I'm using, so I've got it plugged in. It also comes with an overseas type plug. So stick that into your power brick, stick your battery, and keep in mind this little battery charger. And you may be a little confused at first. It's got a little pop-up. So you pop that up, it'll expose the two prongs that go on the side of the battery. It's pretty straightforward, but you'll just slide it on the side of the battery. It's connected to the battery. Then you can plug this into your wall jack and start charging. I recommend doing that first. That way you're charging a battery while you do your other initial setup. You should see a charging indicator. If you don't, push this button and you should see the green bars. Once it's full, you'll see all the green bars illuminated. So put that aside and let that start charging while you set up your other stuff. Your remote control, this is not going to be charged. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use the included USB charging cable to plug into that to charge your Wi-Fi range extender. It comes with 4 AA batteries. You're also going to want to put those 4 AA batteries in the bottom. Now I use rechargeable, so I'm not going to use the included ones, but I'll use my I'll use my own battery. So that's something else. Now this is the piece that holds your smartphone. By default, it's going to be wrapped around the back here. You're going to want to unscrew those 2 screws, and then you can maneuver this and place it optimally for your comfort level. Now in my case, I'm not going to use this because I'm going to use a tablet, and I'm actually going to attach a tablet mount to this, aftermarket tablet mount. So check the link within this video's description and you can find a link to that. But if you're using this, just place it optimally, and you can twist this thing around, and however it best suits your ergonomic needs. And likewise, this Wi-Fi range extender here, this will tilt up and down. It's got a little thumb screw, so when you're out in the field, you're going to want to make sure this is pointed towards the craft. So if it's in front of you, you don't want this pointing up. You want it pointing out towards the craft. Same with the antenna. So what I'm going to do now is take my remote, and I'm going to go ahead and hook it up to the USB cable so they can start charging the Wi-Fi range extender. This will be just a second. I'll be back over there. Okay, so that's plugged in. Once it completes charging, it'll turn green to indicate it's fully charged. So we've covered the remote control. We've covered some of the other initial setup. We're going to go through all of this. So let me get the propellers. Getting those propellers right now. What you're going to notice with the propellers, and this is a point of confusion for a first-time drone owner, you're going to notice that some of them have a silver center and some have a black center. Now that's the way it should be, because, and this is, you're probably like, well, which one goes where and how do I screw it on? Let's take these propellers out of the sack first of all. If you want to put prop guards on, you can. That's something you would purchase separately. You can find a link within this video's description. Personally, I don't like prop guards because I feel they add weight to the craft, and they negatively, and it's not anything big, but they do degrade the flight performance and filming performance and to an insignificant degree. But to me, I would rather just have some extra props on hand should I break one when I land, and not degrade the flight dynamics with a with prop guards. So you're going to get your 4 propellers. These 2 have silver centers. These 2 have black centers. You're going to grab your Phantom and you're going to look at the 4 motors. The ones directly across from each other, this is silver. This one is silver as well. These other ones, they have a little black dot in the middle. So black dot, black dot. When you look at your propellers, you're going to see a directional indicator. On the black one, if I turn it this way, it's lock. It's got a little lock icon. And if I turn it that way, it's unlocked. It's got a little lock icon, it's unlocked. So for the black one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the black propeller. I'm going to put it on the black motor and turn it in the direction of the lock. And you don't have to screw it up. You just see how I just kind of spun that with my finger? Just gently. That's what you're going to want to do just until it stops moving, because these are self-tightening props. You don't want to over-tighten. And then I'm going to take the other black one and do it on the other side where the black indicator is. Then I'm going to take my 2 silver ones, and keep in mind the rotation of them is different. So look at the little icon. Screw them on to the silver engines. And then once you've done that, you've got all your props on. Now the camera itself it's got a lens protector. So if you don't take this lens protector off, it's going to look really blurry. Do not throw this away, because this is good when you're traveling with it. And then likewise, there's this piece right here that's above the camera. It says unlock. You just slide it out to the side, push it with your fingers. And then that's going to come off. Now your camera is free. If we were powered up, since it's gimbal assisted, it would be maintaining a horizontal orientation with the horizon. But again, keep both of these parts, because when you're not flying, you're going to want to put them back on just to better protect the camera during transport. So I'm going to go ahead and put those back on for now, because we're going to demonstrate some of the next things, and part of that is how to safely transport it to the field. We're going to do everything in this video. We're not ready to go to the field yet. So the next thing we're going to want to do, since this is out of the box, we're going to need to update the firmware. And you can check the link within this video's description. You can find a link to that video, but I'm going to explain at a high level how to do it within this video. So you go to DJI.com, you go to their support section, and you download the software. If you're a Mac user, download the Mac software. I use a Mac. If you're a Windows user, download the Windows software. There's a little bit of USB port here. If you pop that little rubber piece up, right below where it says Phantom on the back of the craft, you'll see a USB port. So you'll plug the USB port or USB cable that's included into that, and then the other end into your computer. And when you go into the software that you downloaded from DJI.com, you'll be able to see which firmware version is installed, and using that software you'll be able to update the installed firmware on your Phantom. It's imperative to do that before you even familiarize yourself with flying and those sorts of tasks, because ultimately out of the box your Phantom's likely not going to have the most current firmware. And to get all the functionality within the app, such as ground control, where you can use the satellite photos and whatnot to set your waypoints. If you don't have everything current, it's not going to work properly. So be sure to update that, and not only update the firmware on your Phantom, but also on the remote control. The remote I have charging over there, it's got a USB port on the bottom of it. Using that same software, you're going to want to update the firmware on the remote. Now, outside of the software, there's a camera update. You've got to update the firmware on the camera, but that's done by way of the SD card. It's a slightly different procedure. So be sure to update your camera's firmware too. So once you've done all of that, you've ensured that all of your firmware is current. You're also going to want to, whether you're using Android or iPhone or iPad or whatever device you may be using, you're going to want to make sure you've downloaded the most current version of the DJI Vision app. And then that's what you'll use for the FPV, first-person view, while you're flying this. So that's got us up to date. Something that we may have failed to think about is the SD card. So when this is storing video and photo, what are you going to store it on? It's got this little card inside. It's a micro SD, so if you gently push on it, it'll pop out. The one that comes with it, in my opinion, is not acceptable. It comes with a 4 gig class 4 micro SD card. What I would recommend doing is putting this somewhere safe. I would not use it. I would check the link within this video's description. I would get I'd probably go with a 32 gig micro SD card, and I would make sure that it is a class 10, 10, class 10. Because the class 10 is important, because that has to do with the video read and write speed. And when you're filming high definition video like you'll be doing with this, anything below class 10 is not optimal. Why they did not include a class 10 card, I don't know. That's one of my minor, and they're inexpensive, it's not a big deal, but that's one of my minor gripes with the out of the box Phantom 2 Vision Plus. And actually one of the only gripes that I can think of out of the box. So now we've got everything updated. What I would then do is I would take my propellers off. I was just putting them on to demonstrate how to attach them. Personally, I never travel with the propeller zone, and I never leave the propeller zone, just because, like anything, if something stays attached to something for an extended period of time, there's a possibility that it may become stuck. Now, if it does become stuck, and you can check out my video linked within this video's description, how to remove the DJI Phantom propeller. Using this little aluminum looking bag that came with your Phantom 2 Vision Plus, it's got a little wrench in there, and that enables you to position the wrench over one of the motor's ridges and then safely turn the propeller without potentially damaging your Phantom 2 Vision Plus. So that's, if it did get stuck, that's how you would safely get it off. But when I travel, I always use not only a ruggedized case, but a waterproof and ruggedized carrying case for the Phantom. The reason being, even if you're not near the water, or you're not in a situation where you may damage your Phantom, if you just sit it on the seat of your car or truck or boat or whatever, if you turn on your brakes, that thing could go flying and you could potentially break it, just like a crash. So for that reason, I use this case right here. And you can find the link within this video's description where you can order this online, as well as a video where I demonstrate plucking the foam piece by piece to form fit the Phantom 2 Vision Plus and accessories. So what I'm going to do now, in preparation for going to the field, I'm going to pack my Phantom. So I've got the camera lens protector on there. The battery's charging, so we'll just imagine that it's in there right now. So I'm going to stick it in. And then my remote's charging, so we'll imagine that it's in here. It would go beside this. My 4 propellers, I've got, within this case, I've got slots for those propellers. It's just a very safe and simple way to safely transport the Phantom 2 Vision Plus. So I've got, within this case, I've got room for my, and this is the car charger, which I highly recommend. It's kind of expensive, But if you plan to be using your Phantom on road trips, in your boat, etc., this is nice to have because you can recharge your batteries on the go. And that fits in my case too. So it's just a, as you can see when it's all buttoned up, you got your Phantom right here, and then if you're going through an airport, you've got your TSA locks. You can put a TSA approved lock on there. If you're walking around and you've got other stuff with you too, and you want to wheel it around, it's got an unlockable handle that pops up, and it's got wheels on the bottom, so you can just roll it through the airport. I've got mud on here because I went swimming with this thing at the lake. It floats. That's another thing. And then also the bright color of it, this orange color when it's in the water, not only does it create an easy to see profile for the case should it become detached from you, but it also helps to add to your visibility, because boaters coming by will better be able to see that brightly colored orange against the water versus like a black or color that may blend with the water. This comes in other colors, and you can find all of that within the link within this video's description. But this would be, I would never purchase a Phantom and not have the case at the same time. Just like I wouldn't purchase a camera without having a lens protector before I started using it. It's just one of those proactive things you can do to protect your investment from day one from damage, because that's important, because once it's damaged, you know, and then you put it in a case, it's not going to matter because you've already damaged it. So the case at that point is kind of a moot point. So these are now this is just the initial setup. Obviously, before you go flying the first time, I would read that manual inside and out. And just a few points of interest that you're going to want to be familiar with, and read the manual and be sure you're in a safe field, no power lines, no trees, people, etc. The high level thing that you're going to need to be familiar with, you're going to need to calibrate your compass, making sure that it's properly calibrated prior to flight. You're going to want to make sure that your home point is properly set and working properly prior to flight. You're going to want to know how to manually override the return home should it go out of range. How do you manually override the return home and regain manual control? You're going to want to familiarize yourself with that, because otherwise it may be returning home, but it may be kind of a tight area, and you would rather manually land it versus watch it land itself. So that's something you want to know. And you're obviously going to want to know within your app how to monitor the battery life. It's pretty straightforward. You'll see a battery indicator. Personally, I never let it get down below about 30%, because a lot of times I'll land on the front of my boat, and should a boat come by, should the wind pick up, those sorts of factors that come into play unexpectedly, you'd like to have that extra battery life so that you have the time to safely land. So that's the high level before you fly the first time what to do. But ultimately, as I've stated, read the manual inside and out, and go to DJI.com. You can download a lot of good PDFs on there. And what's great about those, you can save those PDFs on your iPhone or your Android, and you can read them out in the field without having to carry around an owner's manual and that sort of bulky stuff. So just a few pointers. I hope this video helps. I welcome any of your questions. Again, this is my second Phantom 2 Vision Plus, because I crashed my first one. It was my own fault. I ran into a tree, but I love this thing so much I got another one, and I wanted to share my lessons learned with everyone. I hope this video is of value, and again, check the link within this video's description, because you can find all the items that I've mentioned here. You can also find videos and photos. I posted a plethora of information there, but don't hesitate to contact me directly if you want to. It's irixguy.com, IRIXGUY.com, irixguy.com. And you can go to the contact form there, shoot me a direct message. Also, you can hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/irixguy. You can message me on YouTube. I'm not much for the private YouTube messaging, but your public messages are great. Contact me however you want to contact me, and I'll do my best to answer. But these things are great. Ignore the negative hype out there. I know there's a lot of people that maybe they had a bad experience with their drone the first time, and maybe they crashed it or lost it the first time they ever took off, and they've got a bad taste in their mouth because they lost potentially, over $1,000, and they're upset about that. Don't let all of the negativity scare you. It's a very awesome and up-and-coming technology. We're only starting to see it. We're still it's still in its infancy right now. So what my best take on this is that we're still in the beta stage. If you're looking at this from a software development perspective, we're still in the beta stage of drones, and where these drones are going to go and what they can do is going to be amazing it's going to be amazing to be part of that journey. And right now, I can say this is the most advanced, going from the Phantom 1 to the Phantom 2 Vision Plus that I have here. It's absolutely incredible. And how it's going to get better, that's to be seen, but I'm excited. And every new drone that comes out, cost permitting, I will purchase and video on this channel and thoroughly use, because it's not just that they're a cool tool, they're a very it's an educational experience as well. Just getting to be able to become familiar with this technology and learning how to use it and what all it can do. I mean, it's just, the possibilities are limitless, and that's something else I'd like to call out. I run Aerial Rights, aerialrights.com, and I would encourage everybody to check that out. I've got forums on there. I really want to stand, I don't want to, I am standing behind the drone movement, because I feel that we as responsible drone owners, we need to be able to preserve our aerial rights and be able to go out and fly in a safe location, in a safe fashion, and be able to capture videos and or photos and bring to the video and photo realm a new perspective that in the past only cables and expensive helicopters, etc., could do, and they couldn't even do it with the level of quality that a drone can do it. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/irixguy. And again, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll do my best to answer. And check the link within this video's description. You can find all of this goodness that I've talked about today. And y'all have a good day.